All 12 members of the Indigenous Advisory Council for CN Rail have resigned due to disagreements between the group and Canadian Rail. Joining us now are co-chairs Roberta, Jamieson, and Murray Sinclair. For joining us today, Mr. Sinclair, could you tell the role of the Indigenous Advisory Council for CN Rail?
Our responsibility as members of the Indigenous Advisory Council was to, as co-chairs initially, form the council, which took us a while to find the proper personnel to do that, but then to prepare a report for the members of the board of CN outlining what they needed to do in order to establish a reconciliation initiative and to achieve reconciliation. So that was our purpose. In order to do that, we hired consultants who interviewed a number of Indigenous people about the work that we had been retained to do and what we needed to do to make it happen. And then we provided a report to the CN board, and they have our report.
And over to Roberta, why have all 12 members resigned?
Well, I will tell you that, and it's one of the most impressive and credentialed groups of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people you can assemble. You know, the likes of the head of the CCAB, Tabitha Bull, Phil Fontaine, Marie Delorme, Ulu Hansen, Mark Podlasley, I could go on. So the decision was taken not lightly, after a good deal of conversation and thought. And we really came to the conclusion that to continue our work any longer would really mislead Indigenous peoples in particular, and Canadians in general, as to CN's sincerity and authenticity to reconcile. It was a tough decision to make, but an important one.
And this last question to both of you, what changes do you hope to see following this resignation? We'll go to Murray first.
Well, we had in our statement of resignation, we indicated what we thought the weakness was in the response by CN to the plan of action that we put forward, or and the recommendations that we have put forward. And we came to the conclusion that there was an inadequate response to our proposal, and so they need to seriously consider what they need to do in order to make the reconciliation requirements set out in the TRC report happen.
And Roberta, same question, what changes would you like to see following this resignation?
Well, I would like to urge CN to the board to go back and review our 2 reports now. We've done 2, we were to do them annually, to look at the recommendations, to really take on board the fundamental importance of the apology framework. Because what we were told across the country was Indigenous peoples are very interested in having a much healthier relationship with CN, but the fundamental first step is an apology framework where CN would acknowledge and embrace its responsibility as part of the history of railway in Canada for the loss of lands to Indigenous peoples, for the fact that our people continue to see CN and railway generally as being part of those that took our children away to residential school. These things have not gone away, and CN has continued to enjoy the benefits of colonialism and so on, and we've continued to endure the loss. And so I think we were told that's a fundamental first step. Once we get that step in place, we'll build on that foundation, and all kinds of things are possible to shape the future together. But that first step, deliberate, considered, accountable, measured, sincere, is essential
Great answer
to any
there.
reconciliation action plan.
Well, Roberta, Murray, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you so much for taking some time for us today.
Well, thank you. All
Thank
right.
you.